What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Keep It Kula Podcast. My name is Jacqueline, and I have a very special guest joining me today. This guest is a host and producer at Sportsnet 590 The Fan, including co-hosting Leafs Talk, hosting and producing the Real Kyper and Bourne show, among many other things. Welcome to the show, die-hard Leafs fan, also big Toronto Blue Jays fans, don't worry. Sportsnet Sam McKee, thanks for coming on, man. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing really well. Thanks for having me, Jacqueline. Is your last name Kula?
Yep, it's my last name.
I got to tell you, it's a fantastic name for a podcast. First, right off the hop, you got a great first impression for me. It's a great name for a podcast.
I appreciate that.
And those things are hard. They're hard to name a podcast.
So I had your buddy JD Bunkus on recently, and we were talking about the last names and how he's a little bit jealous of me because, you know, his show's the JD Bunkus show and he doesn't love his last name the way I love my last name. Because I was blessed with the last name Kula. Like
it's a very good last name. Very cool. Very Kula.
I like to keep a Kula on this show. Listen, I came up with the name at 19 when I started this. Well, the show was originally with at Laurier, Hawks Huddle podcast back in 2020. Took it over, and I'm like, I'm going to use my own name. I was 19. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. So now at 23, I still love it. I still loving the personal name. Okay, so thank you for that.
My pleasure.
We got to talk about. I see you're wearing your hat for the viewers. Beautiful retro hat. The Blue Jays, absolutely stunning past 3 games. Is that the word to call it? I don't really know how else to call absurd games.
I sent a post after that game saying that I will miss the 2025 Rockies 3-game set for the rest of my life because it was just the most stress-free environment. You know, like this is going to be a long stretch run here where there's going to be a lot of stressful baseball games and there's going to be some really tight ones against really good teams. And baseball is an inherently very stressful sport to watch because it's just slow. All the moments kind of happen slowly. And just to have this nice little vacation really in the middle of a really tough stretch where the Jays just, I mean, listen, the Rockies suck, but they do suck. That's what I will start by saying that. But the Jays were unbelievable. I think they set the record for the most hits in a 3-game set in Major League history, the most runs the Jays have ever scored in a 3-game set. So give them credit for taking care of business in the most, you know, I don't know what the proper word for it is, the most emphatic way possible. They took care of business.
I think that's the perfect way to describe it. Yeah, they ended the series with 45 runs, 63 hits. They set a franchise record for
63 hits in 3 games is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I think the record was 52. So they set the franchise record with hits in a 3-game series, and then obviously set the record for runs as well. Just a ton of 45 runs, which is just absolutely absurd.
It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe.
I could not believe what I was watching. Game 1, right? 15-1. Bo, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. Varsho was killing it. Eric Lauer, amazing game, which I will want to talk about with you shortly. 25 hits in a game, which is franchise record. And then next game, Varsho with 2 home runs. Looking fantastic. Defense was amazing. We had the back-to-back home run with Vladdy and Varsho and Barger. Fantastic. And then yesterday, 20-1, where everyone made an impact, right? Whether it was Nathan Lucas, Schneider, Ty France getting on base 6 times, hit by the pitch twice, 3 doubles and 1 single. So what we saw is a masterclass in playing a terrible team, right? Taking advantage of playing the worst team in baseball, I would say. And then it ended with the Rockies putting in their catcher. To end this game.
What do you think about a mercy rule, Jacqueline? Like, it's whatever. It's the end of a 3-game set. You're the worst team in the league. Maybe other teams wouldn't want to do it because you have to use pitchers and all this different stuff. But, like, everybody involved would have been like, can we just head to the planes? Can we just head to the exits? Like, there's not one person that was involved with either one of those teams. Like, even the Jays who got to tee off on that poor catcher, like, they got to get some home runs, but at the same time, it's like, I think we could have just ended this baby. I think we all know the result. I think everybody's okay with this baby just ending.
As much as I loved watching the boys hit a ton of home runs and doubles and whatnot, it was painful to watch. I wanted them to just end this for the sake of sports, of professional sports, of watching an absolute embarrassment happen in front of my eyes. They have to come up with some sort of rule, mercy rule, or just you got to play your pitchers, right? It's a game, right? You play in a game. Every other professional sport, I guess Football, you take out your quarterback and your backup. Basketball, you put in your bench guys. But there's got to be a better way than putting in a position player to play against major league hitters, right?
Full transparency. I was watching the game yesterday. Had a very close eye on it when it was 14-1, and I left for softball because I had a softball at 6:15. And I got to softball, and my buddy's like, "You see the score of the Jays game?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was like 14-1." He's like, "It's 20-1." I'm like, 20? Oh my God, save some runs for the Dodgers series. But yeah, I don't think there's ever going to be a world where they put a mercy rule in, just because I think, for example, the Red Sox or the Yankees, they probably would want the Jays to have to use all their pitchers. It's an advantage for the Jays over the teams that they're playing in the division and all that stuff, so that probably wouldn't happen. So maybe it's a necessary evil, or they have to pitch pitchers or whatever. But yeah, that's just a tough scene. And it's kind of a hard one for the hitter, because if you hit a home run, it's like, yeah, the guy was throwing 55. I hope you're a major league hitter.
I could have hit a home run against him.
You should hit a home run. And then if you don't hit a home run, you're like, wow, you really suck, buddy. Like, you got to get it together. You can't hit a home run of 50.
Well, because the game ended with Vladdy with that pop up. I'm saying, listen, he was homering, and don't worry. But like, I'm thinking, like, how do you hit a pop up on that? Yeah. But and also just those guys were not happy. They ran the bases with their heads down, and I don't think they're even doing the home run jacket in the end.
No, I don't think you should be doing the jacket when you're up 20.
That would be bad.
That would be rubbing it in. Yeah,
that'd be so bad. But great performances still against the worst team, heading into the Dodgers series, which is going to be very different, I would assume, going into this series. Dodgers are very hot. They're a great team, former World Series champs last year. I do want to talk a bit about the pitching situations that we got going on with this Jays team. So Eric Lauer has been lights out, right? He has had a great record. Shockingly, has been the star of this pitching rotation. What is going to happen with this rotation when Shane Bieber comes back? Because I myself want to see a 6-man rotation. I know there's a lot of cons when it comes to that. Is someone going to get knocked down, or are we going to stick with the 6-man?
I think probably for the regular season, Jacqueline, I think they would probably stick with the 6-man. I think. Because, I mean, there's going to be enough off days, and there's going to be all these different things where they can kind of figure it out and, just kind of cover off these starts. I think the real questions start once you get to potentially, like, if the Jays continue to keep pace and they end up avoiding the bye so they don't have to go into that wild card series, and they end up in one of the ALDSs straight there. I think that's where the bigger conversations start in terms of who goes game 1, who goes game 2. But I do think, like, there's none of their starting pitchers other than Lauer, I guess, really makes sense in the bullpen. Like, you ever really pick? I can't picture Jose Barrios going out to like the bullpen to come in halfway through a game, or even like Gausman or Bassett or any of these guys. Those are starting pitchers.
Scherzer,
he's definitely not going to do it. Like, I mean, he's enough of a psychopath.
No way.
You can tell him he's going to the bullpen. I'm not telling him, but
oh my God,
I do think once the playoffs start, I could picture them doing it like they did the last time they were in the playoffs. That pissed everybody off, but doing like the piggyback situation where maybe in game 1 you start, I don't know, you start Gausman, and then you go piggyback with Eric Lauer in that situation where they've put a bunch of left-handed batters in there to go up against the righty, and then you put the left in to make them make all the changes. I don't understand what they do in the postseason, but when it comes to regular season, I think they'll just kind of back a couple of these guys off, give them an extra off day here and there, and go with a 6-man rotation until they get to the playoffs, and then figure it out from there. Because I just can't picture any of them in the bullpen. And like Brandon Little's been good enough as a lefty, so you're not going to need a leverage lefty. You don't really need a long man with the way the rotation looks. So yeah, that's kind of how I would line it up.
I would agree with you. I'm definitely shocked by the pitching rotation going into this season. Definitely Eric Lauer. Well, Scherzer we thought would be playing a little bit more, I guess you would say, a little bit hotter. But the fact that Eric Lauer has been the star of this team is a shock to us all, and it's a great problem to have. I'm very lucky as a Jays fan that we have this problem where our pitchers are a little bit too good right now, and we just got another great pitcher who should be back for the postseason. Going into a little more Jays talk and discussions that's going to happen this offseason, Bo Bichette has been absolutely fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
A hit machine, has been playing, coming back from his injury, has been unreal from that All-Star break, unreal. There's a chance he's not going to be a Blue Jay this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see the Jays doing to keep him here? What's the price going to look like to extend Bo in Toronto when he's playing this well and after signing Vladdy to like a $3 billion deal, you know?
They gave him a stake in the franchise with his. It's a really, really tough one, Jacqueline, because I can't really picture the Jays without Bo and Vlad for the last little bit, right? Like they've come up together.
Yeah.
From Dunedin to New Hampshire to Buffalo, like they've been hand in hand for a massive part of their lives throughout this whole run here. I would like to think that they get it done. I really would, that they would find a way to keep him and they understand his value to the team. And like, he really is the straw that stirs the drink offensively. He's always getting hits. You'd want a little bit more walk. Like, who cares? I mean, he's not perfect defensively. I understand that. But, when a guy leads the league in hits multiple times in his career and is on pace to probably do it again, like it's just, he's a real threat. He's great with runners in scoring position this season. He's having a fantastic contract year. I really hope that they find a way to do it. But at the same time, if you picture the commitment they made to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., are they gonna really pay? So like, I mean, I've seen the numbers floated out there. It's anywhere from 180 to 250
on a how many year deal?
I don't know, 8, 10, whatever.
Yeah,
like, so what you're looking at, you're going to be committing like upwards of $50 million, upwards of $55 million to 2 players on your roster. I just don't know if the way that Ross and Mark look at things, like, is that something that they want to do? Like, it was a reach for me that they actually were going to give Vladdy how much money they ended up giving him, which I don't necessarily know if it was all their decision. I'm sure there was some Roger stuff in there with wanting to keep the marketable guy and all that stuff. Like, felt like they got told to push that one over the line, and I'm happy they did because I think Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is a true franchise player. But I really hope they find a way to get it done, and I think he's a huge part of this team. He could be the MVP at times of this team. I'm just not sure if they will. I really am not sure. I'm having a tough time with it.
And I would agree with you on that, where seeing Bo not in a Jays jersey seems unreal moving forward. And Vladdy and Bo have both expressed that they want to stay together, right? They've been together forever.
Yeah.
They've been together for their baseball careers. So to see Vladdy staying here, and with the Vladdy deal, like the $500 million is crazy. But Vladdy, I think I was talking to JD about this. Vladdy adds so much more than just, home runs and hits. It's the presence. It's the culture that he brings. He's a fan favorite, and he
marketability. He's always the first baseman at the All-Star game. He's in commercials, JP&B, like he's
JMVP.
He's just like, Bo's just not that, right?
No, he's not.
Bo's strictly baseball. You barely see him interviewed. You barely see him talk. You barely see him smile.
Yeah, he's like baseball. The Kawhi Leonard of baseball.
Very much so. He's a very fun guy, apparently. But I don't know. I don't know. I think a big reason why they gave Vlad that contract is what he represents is this era of Blue Jays baseball. And you have that brand new, beautiful stadium where you've done all these renovations and it's so great. And then it's like next year you don't have Vlad. And you're like, oh, come down to our beautiful ballpark to watch us lose 90 games. Like, it's just not what you could do. Yeah. But I could see them making a more financially strict decision with Bo Bichette than they did with Vlad. We'll see. I hope they find a way to keep him. But there's going to be lots of teams that want him. Like, what team wouldn't want him, really? Like, I mean, he's a guy that you can put in the middle of your order, and he's going to potentially lead the league in hits, and he plays a premium position, below average defensively, but not horrible. I really think he's going to be super sought after. So the Jays are really going to have to up their offer. It kind of reminds me of the Aaron Judge thing, Jacqueline. When Aaron Judge was a free agent that whole season, we talked about where he's going to sign, and he went to free agency. There was some tweets about him signing other places, blah, 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 and then he ends up signing back with the Yankees in free agency. That's my closest comp, but we'll see what happens.
It's going to be very difficult going in. Obviously, the Jays have higher hopes this season rather than they have been in the past couple years, where we see the playoffs, we see them going deep in the playoffs, we see a World Series. I am one of those fans in sports where I think my team is going to win the championship every single year, but this year feels like I'm a Giants fan. Every year the Giants are going to win the Super Bowl. That's my thing. Even when Daniel Jones was leading the team, like
Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. You can't think that this year.
Jackson Dart, man, come on.
I do like me some Jackson Dart. And
you gotta love Jackson Dart.
I saw those clips of Abdul Carter at practice, and I was like, well, he might be good.
Abdul Carter's going to be an absolute monster on the field.
Beast.
So you know what? I'm very confident in my team. But the Jays, when it comes to the Jays, I like to be a little more realistic. As a Torontonian, as someone who sees the games, who sees the culture, I feel this is a better year for them to win versus even the 2015 year. 2015 year, oh my gosh, I was in going into grade 9 back then.
Okay, I was hoping you were going to say that you were. I thought you would be. I don't know. I was just scared at what number you were going to say there. I was in grade 4. I was like, oh god.
No. I was 13. I was still. Okay. I was a young teen, but I remember that feeling of the excitement and watching Kevin Pillar and Josh Donaldson. But this year, as a more mature fan, I see the issues of the team. But I see the pros of them overriding those. I see this team actually making a run and winning a World Series.
Yeah.
Is that crazy talk? Talking to a Leafs fan who also says the same thing every year.
Listen, that's the funniest thing about when they're always like, "Oh, this is the year for the Leafs." Is that certain part of the fan base, but like not one of my best Leaf buddies that I talk to every day about the Toronto Maple Leafs would ever dare say they're going to win the cup. Like they would never ever speak those words. So there are some fans that are like that, but like not in my lexicon. But with the Jays, I don't know why not. I look around the American League and sure, I think Seattle got a lot better. They're to me a very scary team. Detroit's been scuffling for multiple months. Riley Green can't hit all of a sudden like they're middle of their order bat. They're not that scary. Houston to me is a team that they have the experience, but they're not as good as they've been in years past. The Yankees feel like my softball team. I don't know. I just look around the league and I just don't know who the biggest threat is. Like clearly there's good teams, but the Jays have played well against all those teams I just named, and I feel like they're right in it. You want to talk about the National League? You want to talk about getting the World Series? Dodgers terrifying. Phillies terrifying. There's a lot of really good teams in the National League, but the thing is you only have to beat one of them. And it's World Series to get to the World Series. That's a huge win for this season for this team to get to the World Series. I really have had to shift my expectations, as you probably have too, Jacqueline. When this season started and after the first month, I'm like, I can't do this again. I watch baseball every night and I want to tear my eyeballs out. Like it's just really hard to watch. And now every night I'm excited and it feels like the season's flipped so well and they just play really, really good against good teams. The record against good teams is good. I don't know why Jays fans shouldn't believe that they could win the World Series. And playoffs, they're a crapshoot, as you know. You get there, you could lose in 3 games to a team that has 2 good pitchers and a couple hot bats. You know how it goes. Yeah. But I feel like they're firmly in the conversation. I think they have the best record in the AL, don't they? I don't know why they shouldn't be looked upon as the favorites in the American League.
Yeah, when it comes to the AL, it's a mess. The Yankees, it's beautiful to watch. It's
a real shame to see how bad they've been. That keeps me up at night, Jacqueline. The big bad Yankees. I just really feel for them and their fans. I'm so sorry.
It is so beautiful. The mistakes and just everything. The whole series for Canada Day. I've got my Vladdy jersey over here.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
Canada Day.
Were you at the Canada Day game?
That Canada Day game,
Me too. Fantastic. One of the best regular season games I've ever been at. That George Springer home run Grand Slam sent me into a delirious state. My head, I was like, oh my God. I got lightheaded. I was so excited. It was really fun.
I think I'm gonna beat you to that. I tore something in my chest after the Grand Slam. I was in the hospital for 11 hours.
What the hell?
I was talking to JD on the show about this.
What happened?
No idea. I talked a little bit on the pod before. George Springer Grand Slam. I'm
going nuts. Yeah,
going nuts.
Yes.
Going nuts. And I feel like my throat get a little sore. I'm like, whatever. It's weird. That night, I had some chest pains. I was in the ER for 11 hours. Turns out something tore in my chest. I was leaking too much air in my lungs and heart. It healed on its own.
So George Springer almost sent you to the grave, is what you're
telling me.
George
Springer almost killed me, but I will love that man for the rest of my life for what he is doing. So that is my great story now. Anytime someone asks me, what's a cool story about going to a Jays game? Yeah, I almost died, but it's okay. It was very small. Yeah. But no surgery, thankfully. I'm actually getting it checked out again soon. It's all good. Don't worry. But I said to my mom, we're there until from 10:30 to 8:30 in the morning. I'm like, I don't regret this at all. I had the best day ever at the Jays game. Yeah. I had the best really amazing.
It was my first Canada Day game. I'd never gone to the Canada Day game ever, and I just was like, got tickets. Me and my wife went, and what a splendid afternoon at the old ballpark that was. Really enjoyed that one.
These were a gift to me as well, and I had some amazing seats. And
nice.
It was a hot day. It was a little hot in the sun.
We were
but
in the shade.
Got that. Oh, you're so lucky, man.
Yeah.
I was in the shade for the Royals series. I was just there. I went on the one game that we won.
Okay, good.
Great time, man. Great time in the shade. In the sun, you're dying out there a little bit.
It cooks. Actually, you mentioned Scherzer tomorrow night.
Oh.
Scherzer versus Kershaw, baby.
Dude.
How exciting is that?
What an exciting time for people who grew up who grew up in that time.
Yeah.
Like I guess someone like you, I'm not trying to age you really,
no, I'm
but
old.
you grew up in that Kershaw and Scherzer, just absolutely legendary seasons.
Yeah.
What is this going to look like? Is it going to be like two old dudes pitching, or is it just going to be like lights out? Are we going to see legendary moments?
I think it's just, they're both past their prime, and I think what Max Scherzer's done in his last few starts has been unbelievable, and I really think he's turned it around, and I trust him fully. Mm-hmm. But just on name recognition alone, to have Max Scherzer versus Clayton Kershaw at Chavez Ravine on a Friday night, like that's as good as it gets. So I don't know what we'll see. I think that the Jays, like Kershaw at this point of his career, doesn't throw that as hard as he used to. I think he's actually a pretty good matchup for the Jays because they got some pretty good right-handed bats. Lo Perfido hopefully back in there. He's been good against lefties too, so we hope to get him back in there. George Springer didn't do his rehab thing he was supposed to do yesterday, so he probably won't be back for that series. But it'll be nice. Oh, well, nice, but it'll be more realistic to watch the Jays against a good team because after that Colorado series, it's like you just expect them to win, but having some higher stakes is nice. And this is a big stretch of baseball for them, Jacqueline. Like, they play against the Dodgers, and they come home for 3 against the Cubs. They've been scuffling a bit, but they're one of the better teams in the NL. Mm-hmm. And then Texas, who's been hot, they got them on that homestand. So it's a really good homestand. Tough 3 series coming up, and then I think they go to Pittsburgh and maybe Miami. Yeah. I can't listen. Pretty good memory that I'm remembering all this, but I think those are what they do this month.
Oh my goodness! Do you have notes in front of you?
No. I talk on the radio too about the Jays.
Your living.
So I have to know their schedule. Yeah.
I
can't remember my email password, but I remember what the Jays schedule is.
Listen, that's the way to make it in this industry. You got. Yeah. But I'm excited for this series, and as you said, it's like all of us Jays fans were our postures fixed a little bit more because of this crazy Rockies series. So it'd be nice for the team to go back to reality at this point in the season instead of late in the year when you need to make that final push. And we don't know what we're going to see. I'm hoping to win the series, obviously, but I don't know if we're going to see a win. To win one game will be great. We're missing stars. We're in Los Angeles. Time difference is different. There's a ton of different things. How many home runs is Ohtani going to hit, though?
Probably 3 or 4, just to twist that knife a little bit. I went to the series last year when they came to Toronto, and he was I wanted to boo him because, he set us up, and then I think it was maybe the first pitch he saw, he hit into the second deck, and I was like, oh crap.
So mean.
He's honestly though, I've seen him play at the Rogers Center twice. Mm-hmm. In his last game there with the Angels, and I saw him play there with the Dodgers last year. And I honestly think watching him play baseball is as impressive as any athlete I've seen do their respective sport. He's just a godlike figure. First of all, he's just a massive guy. And the way he glides around the bases, it's just like, oh my God, this guy was born to do this. So I really went through a stretch of being mad at him after the whole plane thing and all this stuff. And, I really wanted to stay mad at him, but I just can't. He's so good. He's so cool. He's just the coolest guy too. All the players seem to love him, and he just seems like one of the guys. And he's just, I love him. I hate to admit how much I love him, but I was so mad at him for so long, and now I'm just I can't hate this guy. He's unbelievable.
He's absolutely unreal. I rock a couple Dodgers hats here and there as well.
Yeah.
Also, listen, it's style. Listen, Yankees hats are style. Yankee hats are style, but I will not be seeing the Yankees hat, unfortunately. No. But Yankees hats are damn nice. But Dodgers, Dodgers. It's I rock those. And Ohtani, I've talked about this so much on my show, but it's so true that Ohtani is a god in baseball. He's seen as I think he's going to go down as the greatest baseball player of all time. I don't think
that's a crazy take at all.
Yeah.
No.
I think he will, and I think. And when it comes to terms to sports, how is he compared though to guys like LeBron and Michael Jordan and Gretzky and those guys? How is a baseball player, someone who plays both positions, compared to guys like that?
It's a great question. It's hard to quantify, but like, I don't know. Is it like Mitch Marner playing forward and goalie?
Yeah.
What's the cross sport reference? I guess, Travis Hunter in the NFL. Not Travis Hunter. What's the guy for
Hunter? Yeah.
Yeah, right. Is it Travis Hunter?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Travis Hunter, second. Yeah.
So like playing both positions in the NFL, doing wide receiver, cornerback. I guess that's kind of similar, but I think those are a lot more similar than pitching and hitting are. Like, you know how good at pitching you have to be to make one start in the major leagues of baseball, to make one appearance. You have to be the best of the best in your county, in your city, in your state, whatever.
Yeah.
But to be like the best at both in the major leagues of baseball is legitimately one of the most impressive things in the history of sports. It's unbelievable. Like, because other guys, there's been like Madison Bumgarner, for example, was a great hitter for a pitcher. Like, I think he hit over 200. He had some power. He was a left-handed bat. Like, Ohtani hit 50 bombs last year, stole 30, or he stole 50 and 50, right? 50 bases, 50 home runs.
Yeah.
And now he's got like a 2 ERA. It's otherworldly. So I actually think it's one of the most impressive things that's ever happened in our lifetime. And I don't that whole thing, I don't think it gets talked about enough. People love to say that, but I really don't think it gets talked about enough how incredible this is that Ohtani does it. We all just take it for granted.
Yeah, we do. And when it comes to the greatest athletes in the world too, he's not talked about enough at all. And are we going to see this, you think, moving forward in baseball of the next generation of kids prioritizing hitting and pitching?
I just think
impossible.
I think he's touched by a God. Yeah. I think he's one of one. I think he's just like, I'm sure there's people that'll try it and there's people that'll maybe succeed. And like, there might be other guys that like get to the league. But to have one guy do both this well, I don't think we'll ever see anything like it again. He's amazing. He's amazing. I love him. I hate to admit it. I love him.
I love him.
I wouldn't wear his jersey ever because, but like I do love him.
I will not wear that jersey, at least not for now. No. Maybe like in I don't think I could ever, unless he comes to the Jays, but he's playing in
we already flirted with that one, and I don't think that ended well.
If he comes to the Jays at 50 years old, imagine at like 45 years old.
Can you imagine he actually signed with the Jays?
Well, it's a 10-year with the Dodgers, right?
Yeah.
And he's what, 30?
No, but like when last summer or last winter when everybody thought it was going to happen and it was like the Jays were a finalist, I can't even imagine how much I would love Shohei Ohtani. I might have to probably have to like rename my dog Shohei.
I'd probably have to get a tattoo.
I was going to say that was my next step, tattoo. Maybe even get a neck tattoo, Shohei Ohtani, like just so everybody knows what I'm about.
I'd put his face on my car. Yeah. Yes, I would do. Yeah, no, if Ohtani comes to Toronto, I think that'll be bigger than a World Series.
Yeah, but he'll never leave LA. No. And now like
10-year contract though, you never know. He might hate it.
He's there forever. And the thing is, it's like that was so brilliant by them too because they've just cornered the Japanese market where now every Japanese guy like that's good. They just go to the Dodgers, right? And it's like everybody in Japan. Like I had a buddy that was there recently. He says like literally 80% of people are wearing Dodgers hats. Like it's just like posters everywhere, Dodgers, Ohtani. It's like, Matt, it's brilliant. It's just brilliant. They're like, $700 million. We made that back literally last week. Yeah. Like they do not care.
It changes sport media. I talked with Blake Murphy and Keegan Matheson about if Ohtani was here, of how sport media would
God.
The press room, you wouldn't be able to get in.
No.
You wouldn't be able to get in. They would be on Japanese television every single night.
Yeah.
Davis Schneider would be a legend probably in Japan. If Ohtani's pitching on the team and Schneider's
that duster over there, right? They like those rec specs and that duster. They're like,
they're gonna be rocking like the mustache.
He does look like the prototypical American baseball player, so they'd be like, yeah, that's a guy's American.
Glasses, mustache, like.
Yeah,
that's the thing. You mentioned Marner when we were talking about players and how do you look at Ohtani. I know the Marner trade happened a bit ago. Well, I wouldn't really call it a trade.
Technically you're right.
It was a trade, but Marner left.
Yeah.
Now sitting with it, I know you had your initial thoughts, and we all did.
Yeah.
Sitting with it now, how do you feel going into the season with Marner in a Vegas Golden Knights jersey?
Right now, I feel nothing. Like right now, I don't think about it at all, and it doesn't.
Are you
really
not thinking about
me.
it because the Jays are so good, or just because?
Well, I think that it's summer. Like it's summer. I don't really think about hockey a ton. I play golf. I go on vacation. I do all this stuff. Like I don't really think about it. But like, I think once the season starts and everybody's trying to act tough and everybody's like, oh, I won't miss him at all. But let me tell you, I know how these things go. And the first 4-game losing streak for the Leafs, and Marner's got 10 points in 4 games for the Vegas Golden Knights, and they're on fire. We're going to talk about it. It's going to be a thing. I'm telling you. Like, there's just no way that I know. Like, it's Toronto. This is the way things go. It's like we can't act like we're not going to think about it. I don't think about it right.
You're going to be talking about it every day on the radio, every single day.
I got Kipper's his like godfather, so I have to like he's going to be bringing it up at least twice a show. I know how these things go, and it sucks. And I think like my true prediction on how the Leafs season goes, I think they're going to be good again. I think they'll be worse in the regular season. And everybody's going to be like, oh, they miss Marner. They don't have. And then once they get to the playoffs, I think they're going to be a little bit more tough to play against, and I think they'll be fine. Do I think they'll win the cup? Do I think they'll go further? Maybe not. But I think it'll look pretty similar to that it has in years past. Like, they're still good. They still have a ton of great players. Their defense is still good. They still have 2 really good goalies, Matthews, Nylander, Tavares, Nyes. Like, they don't suck by any stretch. It's just going to look different. It's going to look different.
It'll look very different. And, you know, going into that, in that playoffs too, do you think Marner was checked out before? Because there was a lot of talk about him wanting to go to Vegas, and you know he was doing a lot of the talking and stuff. Do you think he was checked out in that playoffs, even when he was screaming at everyone on the bench?
I don't know what to think. I don't. I just, you know, I don't read into these things a ton. I don't usually this stuff doesn't really get my attention. But one of my buddies brought it up to me. He's like, you know, when guys leave teams, a lot of times, all these guys are on Instagram, all these guys are on Twitter, all these guys are whatever, and not like Willie didn't share anything about it. Morgan Riley didn't share anything about it. Matthews, who's the captain, shared like just the post about thank you, Mitch, or whatever. None of these guys are like saying anything about it. I think there's a world where it was pretty toxic and like we didn't really get the full picture and that he probably was checked out. No, I mean, not checked out. Like he's still competing. They played well in Game 6 against the Panthers. He had set up Matthews for the game winner. But when that game starts to go badly against the Panthers, I think there's a world where he's like, all right, I'm out of here anyway. In Game 7, right? Like, I'm out of here. And the fact that they, you know, Elliot Friedman, who works for us at Sportsnet, when he reported like the tampering thing, you know, that doesn't get out without they had something.
Friedman is not just putting out garbage, you know?
They absolutely had something. And I don't know what it is, but it ended up getting them Nicholas Waugh, who's a good NHLer. So we'll see how that goes. But that's the other thing. I mean, not to go too long here, but I'm worried for Nick Waugh because everybody's like, oh, they won't measure. Everybody knows that, like, it's the situation. That's another thing I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, oh, Nick Waugh hasn't scored in 10 games and he was traded for Marner and Marner's got 50. I'm like, oh, God.
It's going to be brutal.
Those are my only 2 worries really about the Leafs season, but I think they'll be fine.
The hockey season will be crazy. Okay, I know you gotta go, but one last question. I don't even even care about this though, but Matthew Tkachuk was named as the NHL 26 cover.
Yeah.
Does this mean anything to you? Does this make you a little bit angry?
I don't think it makes me angry. I think it does mean something.
Is it deserved?
Yeah, I think. I guess like you could put Sam Bennett on there or Marchand or whatever, but I think Matthew Tkachuk is a very marketable guy, and you know I think that people in America know who he is, and I think he won the cup 2 years in a row. So, as much as I don't like him, like honestly, like that's the thing with the Panthers. I love a lot of their players. He's the only guy on the team I truly can't really stand.
Do you love Marchand any chance?
That's the thing about getting older, Jacqueline, is that you realize that he's just amazing and that he's like an all-time legend. And I love to hate him. Like I can't stand him, but I love him. It's a very complicated relationship with him. But yeah, it doesn't drive me too crazy because you're trying to market to younger people and like they want to have the stars, American stars particularly, to grow the game. So I think it's okay.
All right,
like, you know, you could put McDavid on there every year. You could put like whoever else on there every year. But I'm okay with it. I have to admit that I'm okay with it.
Yeah, you know, a part of me was kind of like, it feels weird not having a Canadian player or someone who plays for a Canadian team. But I understand he is the winner of, you know, the past 2 Stanley Cups. All right, we're going to end it here. Happy birthday, Sidney Crosby, by the way.
Oh, my goat.
Canadian legend.
My goat.
I have a Crosby jersey somewhere.
I don't know if I turn the camera, can you see this? Look at it.
Oh yeah.
Right beside me.
Oh,
right
stunner.
beside me. Right
that
there.
Is a stunner right there.
Always right beside me. My personal GOAT, Sidney Crosby, my favorite hockey player of all time. Adore the man. Happy birthday, brother.
You got to keep that. Yeah, I was rocking my Canada Crosby jersey during the Four Nations, which was so good, which is a whole other episode we'd have to talk about. But Sam McKee, thank you so much for coming on the show. I had a great time just chatting about Blue Jays and Leafs and a little bit of everything.
Yep.
Love listening to you any chance I get on when it comes to Sportsnet, whether you're on Kyper and Bourne, you're on the morning show, you're on JG show a lot as well. You do a little bit of everything. So thank you for taking the time to come on. We can find you at Sam A. McKee on Twitter.
Yep.
Hear you on the radio all the time. Go Jays, go. Go Leafs, go soon. Once again, Sam, thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure, Jacqueline. Thanks a lot for keep up the good work. Keep it Kula.
Thank you. Oh, I love it. I love that. Appreciate it, man. All right, everyone. That is going to do it. This episode will be on Spotify and on YouTube. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.